for those who love Japan, dumadami ang migrant workers ng Japan. But to work in Japan, you have to know their language. So, kung first year college pa lang or high school pa lang, sinasabing gusto mo na mag-abroad, and tinutulungan natin sila, sabihin, eto ang mga, kasi ngayon ang bata magaling mag-memorize ng Koreano because of K-pop and K-drama. At may mga trabaho din naman sa Korea, di ba? But kung titignan mo, 1/3 of the world speaks Spanish, 1/3 of the world speaks Chinese, Mandarin mostly, and 1/3 speaks English. Then of course, depende kung ano target natin. But Japan is a beautiful country with beautiful culture that loves Filipinos. But ang problema, pag nag-ambisyon pa lang pumunta doon pa lang mag-aaral ng Hapon. So I don't know, should we ask the CHED to do that? Should we ask DepEd? But I'm just saying, dahil kayo nakafocus dyan, at dahil may action fund kayo, baka gusto nyo kahit experiment doon. Kahit sabihin mong 10 students in Southern Luzon, 10, di ba? Para na hindi every year, pareho na lang ang pinag-uusapan natin. So, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, I'll support on 2 reasons. No? One, tinitignan ko budget nila, 8 billion last year, we're proposing sa Senate 11 billion. But ang remittances ng 2024 was $34.5 billion. So that's about 2 trillion pesos. So, katulad ngayon, ang tinanggal sa DPWH, mahigit 2 billion. If there's somewhere good to put it, it's in the DMW. Pero hindi namin mailalagay unless mag-propose kayo. Diba? Kasi pakitang tao lang pag sinabi ko, Mr. Chairman, gawin na natin 15 yan o gawin natin 20. Hindi man name that tune to or the price is right, di ba, na parang sino mag-propose ng mas mataas na budget, mas mabango sa DMW at saka sa OFWs. Ang labanan dito, how you can hit the nail on the head, yung mga programang kailangan talaga ng OFW, which goes to my, so, would you agree, my question is to the Chairman, not to the Secretary. Chairman, napakaliit ng 11 billion compared sa remittances na binibigay po nila, hindi po ba?
Agree, Mr. President. Pero to answer po yung questions earlier, as a matter of fact, even before you brought up that research thing, may nakaschedule na po sila ngayong December for research policy and design. Number 2, they are willing to submit a research design after that conference, Mr. President. Number 3, yes, they have coordination po with the Commission on Higher Education para nga po dyan sa NTES na, and including Marina na rin po for that upscaling of skills, Mr. Chair, Mr. President.
So I think, I'm happy to hear that, but I think the how is very important because massive, diba, 10 million Filipinos abroad. Officially ba ilan yung OFWs?
Around 7 million.
7 million officially. But I would dare say, kasi yung 10, 11 million, matagal na yun. Just in the US, including second, third generation na Amerikano na, 6 million ang... So, Filipinos abroad is different from overseas Filipinos abroad. So, officially 7 million documented yon.
Documented OFWs. The documented is around 6 billion, yung the rest is undocumented.
So just because you're dealing with so many people, and you're dealing with people from not only all over the country, kasi yung iba nagti-TNT na rin doon habang makakuha ng ibang trabaho, no? So, the thing is to come up with creative and innovative programs that really hits the nail on the head. So may I ask, at least during your term or even longer than that, nagbabago ba yung design ng ating PIDOS at PAOS?
Yes, Mr. President.
Okay. Kasi na-notice ko dun sa PIDOS, Pre-Departure Orientation Seminar, aside from maikli, I'm talking about matagal na yun, matagal ka naman dyan, Mr. Secretary, di ba? So when we're talking during Pinoy's time, di ba? Yung iba, para lang masabing may PIDOS, 2 hours, 3 hours, tapos na. On the side of the OFW, gusto na makaalis, excited, it's just one requirement you have to check. Sa recruiter naman, Dahil nga maraming hilihan locally and abroad, at saka umutang na yung OFW, so gusto mo na lang mapaalis. At that time, pati for certain number of years, I think 2014 to 2017 or 18, pati passport, magbabayad ka pa ng $500 to $1,000, makakuha ka lang ng passport. So sa dami ng gastos, makaalis na, hindi nakafocus sa PIDOS. So for example, ano finding halimbawa sa ibang Muslim countries? Sabi, sir, hindi kami pinapakain. Pero there are certain countries na wala silang hindi sila kanin every meal. So pinapakain sila, pero hindi kanin every meal. Diba? Pwera pa yung pag-fasting na Ramadan sa gabi yung ano. But my point is, the time to do that is really before they go, diba? To orient them with what to expect abroad. I mean, tayo Mr. Chairman, congressional delegation, ang dami na nating babasahin for a 3-day trip. But sila, they will spend 1-2 years doon, bibigyan sila ng PIDOS na 2-3 hours.
That's a very good question, and thank you for bringing that up, Mr. President. Actually, at this point, at this time, yung pre-departure orientation at saka post-arrival, country-specific na po, kung saan po sila pupunta, doon na po. Ito yung culture, ito po yung dapat at di mo dapat gawin sa Saudi, ito po ang pwede, hindi pwedeng gawin sa Kuwait. So it's very different, specific na po Sa Hong Kong, medyo maluwag. Sa Dubai, medyo maluwag siya. So, nalalaman po ng ating mga departing OFWs kung ano pong i-expect nila. Kung galing po sila ng Dubai, different po, medyo stricter sa Saudi Arabia, medyo stricter sa Kuwait. Kung na-deploy po sila, kasi meron po tayong mga OFW na mga galing po sa Dubai, naka-employ po sa mga diplomat. Ngayon, aalis na po, tapos na po yung contract, lilipat po sa Europe, sa Switzerland, o sa France. So, iba na naman po yung PIDOS nila kasi country by country specific po.
I'll go to the PAOS, but on the average kayo, Mr. President, what's the average time for the PIDOS? Regardless of what country. Is it a 2-hour, half-day, 1-day, 2-day, 3-day seminar? How long is it?
For PIDOS, Mr. President, is 7 modules, so 1 day po yan.
Okay.
Language and culture. Sa Kingdom of Saudi Arabia po, 2 days. Sa Singapore po, 1 day. Sa Cantonese po, 3 days. GCC, 3 days. Sa Mandarin po, 6 days. So, iba-iba po
But Mr. President, gaano katagal po from, halimbawa po ako, kung gusto ko mag-apply maging OFW, from today, more or less, ilang days bago ako makaalis? More or less, assuming walang problema, what's the average? Wag naman the fastest. 2 months, 3 months?
Yung buong cycle daw po, Mr. President, according po to, is it deployment cycle you're asking?
From ano, so if I'm a new college graduate ngayon, whether sa barko or average lang, so from the time I apply to get everything, pati visa, etc., passport, all the permits, is it like 3 weeks, 1 month, 2 months? What's the usual?
30 to 45 days, Mr. President. So, granting po, kung yung OFW natin, wala pong mga negative findings pagdating po sa mga x-ray, sa mga health issues po niya, pero kung everything go naman po, it's around 30 to 45 days.
So, let me state what I don't want to happen or we don't want to happen and what we do want to happen. What we do want to happen is that the OFW is fully prepared. We cannot say na wag siyang ma-homesick kasi kahit anong briefing mo, di ba? Tao tayo And mental health is a real issue now. Loneliness, isang asset natin, tribal tayo, ang ninong ng kumpare, ng ate, ng kaklase ko ay kamag-anak ko pa rin. So we have very close ties, di ba? Yung ating barangay, yung ating town, mahal na mahal natin. So, there are things that is beyond our control. But preparation is essential. So can you study? So what we don't want to happen naman is to add so much red tape and bureaucracy na lalong mapahirapan yung applicant. But sa akin kasi, kung 4 weeks to 6 weeks bago maalis, 2-3 hours a week for 6 weeks bago makalis, kahit lalo kung online yan, as part of the preparation, counseling, and everything, would go a long way, not only na hindi sila ma-abuse, but for them to maximize their stay there. Diba? So, for example, Mr. President, if we're talking about taxi drivers, hindi ko naman pinopropose katulad sa UK, sa London. Sipin niyo po sa London, mahigit 1 taon, nakabisikleta, naglalakad yung driver, yung cabbie, kasi may exam siya na kailangan memorize niya lahat ng kalye. Kahit may ways na ngayon. Diba? So, yun yung isang extreme. Yung isang extreme naman, let's say yung mga nasa Northern America na o Latin America na grabe yung nangyayari sa kanilang bansa, so nagsasapalaran na maka-enter ng US, wala talagang bit-bit at yung iba namamatay pa papunta doon. So yun yung 2 extremes, diba? Yung one extreme, you go abroad seeking a better life, wala talaga, walang paghahanda, talagang bahala na, diba? The other extreme is like yung cabbie nga sa UK na sobrang aral. So may I just manifest that today that baka we can study that. Of course, if you can somehow integrate that into elementary, high school, college, some preparation doon at telling them na kung balak nyo mag-abroad, kasi katulad sa mga, what you call that, sa DepEd, yung kanilang
STEM.
resident educator, Chairman Win, yung tracks, di ba? So, shouldn't there be a track kung sigurado kang mag-abroad ka? Di ba? So, kasi I don't mean naman na 6 weeks nagpre-prepare ka, ang dami mong kailangan gawin. Hindi naman to eskwelahan na 6 weeks ka mag-aaral, di ba? But if you look kasi at the top countries, like Singapore, Hong Kong, Japan, Australia, Taiwan, you have to know the culture, you have to know yung ano and everything, but basically, sumunod ka sa batas, you'll be okay, di ba? But the other countries, UAE medyo malaki, but the other countries may mga peligro many people don't know whether it's Malaysia or India, for example. Certain types of preaching or conversion of Muslims to Christians can land you in jail. Di ba? Ang Pilipino, likhang missionary at evangelical. Whatever our religion is, we want to share it and we want to make sure yung kasama natin saved na. Tempted na ako tanungin kayo, sabihin nyo sa katabi nyo, saved na ba kayo? Di ba? No, well, likha sa atin, di ba? Brother Sherwin, your mother is a pastora and shares the word, di ba? Oo. So, going to the PAOS, yung PAOS, Mr. Chairman, in my experience, is better because nakasettle na sila at nandun na sila. Diba? So, medyo nakasettle down and everything. Pero ang problema nga, katulad halimbawa sa Saudi or Kuwait, pag nandun na sila sa bahay ng boss nila, let's say sa kasambahay, hindi sila basta i-allow na mag-attend ng kung ano-ano eh. Diba? So, since you said it's now country-specific, so for example, sa Saudi, when they get there, do they go straight to their employers or do they stay with the embassy or with the recruiters for a day or two before they go to their
They go to the agencies, Mr. President.
And in their agencies, do they have time pa for the PAOS there, the post-arrival?
Yes, Mr. President, they have time for PAOS.
Yeah, can I just encourage us to keep looking at those because prevention talaga for me is a better key than finding a solution pagka may problema na. May I ask, kamusta ang synergy nyo ngayon with DOLE and DFA? DFA muna, kamusta ang relationship and ang working I know bago din ang secretary natin, pero she's very what you call this, experience. The reason I asked, Mr. Chairman, is because kanina tinanong ko bilateral meetings. So, when I was Secretary of Foreign Affairs,